Okay, so exam 2022, question 15, 31 marks. So we have to build a system that allows this user to buy items. Payment will not process by the web application, will be recorded in the database and processed manually by the school admin staff. School admin staff manually add items and details, and they are donated and purchased. Once the order has been placed, stock availability should automatically update. So there's a few key area here. So we got students, we got staff, and then we got items which also contain prices. So that's items. We have payment details, which is database. Items is also a database. Staff and admin staff will be the same. Um, so school can add staff as they are donated and purchased. Um, Stock availability should automatically update. So order, I think order will also need to be an item. Once order has been placed, stock availability should automatically update. So also school staff would like to view order history. So um, basically we need to keep track of it. So let's play around with this and let's see how far we can get with this and how long it's gonna take to build this. Okay, so let's focus on the first item. So the first item, so what I like to do here, let's try something different with the DFD. So what you can do with DFD is that you can break down the sentence. So students need to be able to log in. So let's just use that. And then we also have staff need to be able to log in. All right, so let's focus on that one first. So we're doing the login screen. So let's use this for the external entity. So we have student, and then we're gonna have staff. So let's just keep it a distance because we probably will need to additional capitalize stuff. All right, and we're just gonna need around the square here. So this is the process, right? So process 1.0, authenticate users, right? So what's happening here? So in here, when the student wants to log in, they send to the user, they send their user details. So that's what they send to them. Similarly, with the staff member, so they will send that to the here as well. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, that doesn't look nice. See if we can connect that. Okay. So this one here, we are also sending user details. All right, cool. So what we can do is we can move this a bit so that that sort of looks like that. Okay, so now to authenticate users, what do we need to do? So we receive input user details, we authenticate, we need a process, that's the process, and then we need to have the database because we need to have something to reference it. So we're gonna have in here, we just have a database, just call it user database. So let's just bring it closer to the left side here. So what we can do in here is that we can run a query. So you run a query, so you basically from here you send to the database. You send to the database. Let me see if I can connect it. So you send here username. So you send a username as the query to the database, and the database can return to you. Let's just use the top bit here. And then we go user password. So we can do that one. So send username, get the user password, authenticate the process, and then what we can do is that we can send a message back to the user, authenticate, authenticated, So remember, this needs to be a noun, or we just do authenticated. So that's one way to do it. And then we'll send the same information back to the staff member. And then we just call it authenticated as well. So that's option one, right? Um, so that's option one. That's what we can do in here. So that's process number one, or we can actually remove the authenticated. We don't need that. And let me just adjust this. Let me move it down to here so that we have some interaction. All right, so authenticated users are authenticated. And then what we can do here is that we can display items. So let's go back to the use case. We have done login, so now we need to view items, right, and their prices. So what we need to do in here, oh, I do like that option. So let's just go back to the first option. So users authenticated. So now we need to have a secondary process. So we need to have a secondary process here. So basically the user will click, so authenticated, and user will click display items, or we can trigger the process. So we have a secondary process here. Let me move this around so that it works. Okay, so now we have process number two. We can do display item information. So what this will need the item database. So students need to be able to view item and prices. So let's go in here and then let's do that. So we need an item database here. And then we can pull in from the database item details. And then we can, from here, the display function will send it to the student. And then this will become item details page. So that's what we can do, right? So that's a simple one. So the student can view the items and the prices, and then they select the items for purchase. So selecting item for purchase. Okay, cool. Students can purchase items. Okay. So the process number three. I keep losing you. Okay, so step number three. Process purchasing. Okay, so with the process purchasing here, so the student will send to here. The student will send items to purchase and payment details. I'm just gonna move the stuff a bit out so that, yep, so they're sending to this one here. So then what this will do is that that order will be stored into an order database. So we go in here, we can send the order details. So we can just say that. Let's just put it down. Okay. Down. Yeah. So that's one here. So we're storing the order details, right? And then when purchasing, we also have to update the item. So we can send an information here, and then we just say purchased items quantity. In here, order details, and we can keep it order details and order and payment details. We're storing it in here. Then what do we need to do? Let's do that. That's basically the purchasing. I'm conscious that we can only have 7 processes, so that's what we need to do. Payment details will be recorded in the database and then processed manually by the school admin staff. Okay, so I think we will be fine. So we go in here and then we go process payment. So we go and then we pull in here payment info, and then we pull that one, and then we'll send it to the staff member. Let's just do order and payment details. So we are withdrawing that one. Then that goes to the U staff, just the payment information, and then the staff will send back to us. It is the sending back payment confirmation, and then we are storing the payment confirmation back to that. Where are you doing? We're storing it back to the database. Payment approval. Payment approval, or yeah, payment record or payment approval. Let's just do payment approval. So what's happening here? The staff member collects the payment from the order, so that once gets collected, they process the payment on the FPOS machine, and then once they process it, they send it back to here. So that one here, we have in here staff to process payments manually and update order. Okay, so that one is done. So once order has been placed, stock availability will automatically update, which is that one there. So that's the one that we done. School administration can manually add items as they are donated and purchased. So what they need to do is that we need to do a step number 5. Step number 5, manage item. So what we can do is that staff can add. Remember the rule in there, they just say add. So we can do staff can add items as it becomes available. So we have that. So this one here, new item details. And then that one, I think we should be able to pass on the same information. So I think we should be fine. Don't worry about making sure every data flow is unique. I think that one will be a uni problem. That won't be a U problem for now. So in here, we just go and we say push it back to the item database. We just show new item details. Yeah, so that should be what we can do. Oh, and then we also have, so we're reading here, so we get add items. School would like to view order history, determine popular items. Okay, so what we need to do in here, we need this process number 6, generate order report. So what we need is that we need to get the order details. We might need the item details as well. So let's just pull that one in. Oh, let's pull it out a bit. Nope, we want to pull this one out. Yep, that's why. So we got in here item details. And then we can send from here to here. We call it popular item. So popular item report. The reason why we're doing that is because in here staff would like to see. All right. So by breaking this down, you are able to sort of pinpoint whether you have covered all the requirements. But that basically cover all the requirements from my point of view. So now let's have a look at the marking criteria. So marking criteria, so login user authentication, yep, we have that one. Viewing and display item, yep, we got that one. Selecting items, yeah, so user item to purchase and payment details, so that's that one. Collecting the payment details, so that's also that one. So this one here, maybe we need a new process for it. So, but again, this one can be an internal process under point 3. We got adding item details here, and then we got update stock, which is the managed item. So symbolize admin only access for adding item details. I don't know how to do that one, but I think we should be okay on that one. Um, because there's already authenticated there. So probably what I will do is I will have the authenticated um, information flow into here as well, into the process payment managed item. So that's probably how I'm going to deal with that one. So we got in here, so they want user database, they want items database, they want order. So looks like we need a separate database for payment details. So that's probably what they wanted to do. For me, I probably combine them into one database, but we might be able to separate them. So yeah, that's sort of a bit tricky. And then yeah, so we got incoming and outgoing data for login, displaying, selecting items, collecting payments, and updating stock. So yeah, so we can definitely do that. Can we do a better one? Yes, we can. But this is just a quick run through on the DFD creation uh, for the process. And let me pause it there. All right, so now if you go to question B, this wireframe interface fundraising application summarizes the wireframe to respond to question 15A to determine which process have occurred in the system to result in this user interface. So if you're looking at here, so they're already logged in, so they already finished process number 1, and they are now on process number 2. And this page here is the result of the process number 2, which is the item details page. So that is the answer for that one there. So we can just highlight that this one process number one. This one here, the display, we are currently on process number two, the display item. I think that's the answer. So let's see. Yeah, few for this occur, few item process would have occurred before reaching the screen. Therefore, have to log in. Yep. So that is correct. So question number three: what process of and data flow will occur when user interacts with the user interface? So we have to explain. Okay, if they click purchase, then probably depending on the data flow, but I would say it collects the item purchase and payment details and process the purchasing. But this one here, we probably can separate them into a little bit more detailed process. So what I can do in here is that we can go this one here, process number 5, process number 6, process number 7. We have to be very careful for this one because we can only do 7 processes. And let me just drag them down a bit so that we can insert process number 4. So we have all the details there. I don't like it. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. So now we have process number 4. So this one here, capture. So this is 3.0, capture order details. And then we have process 4.0, capture payment details. And then we need a database for payment. So in here, we go item to purchase. So that one, they go and send the order details here. And then they update the order details. So that goes into the order. That one goes into items to purchase. And then what they need to do as well is that we just have to shift this a bit. Let's see if I can shift this a bit and then move it up. I just need to clear some area. So in here we can do we can request payment details. So in here, so once that one is done, then this process will kick in and then it will send to the user, it will send them payment page. And then the user will provide payment details. So user provide payment details, and then the payment details then get stored into the database. And then the payment information from here goes to here. So payment details, and because we have that, we also need order details. So we have order details still here. And then we have to change this. So this one here, once the payment is completed, once payment is confirmed, we store the payment confirmation here. And then we send back to the order. Oops. We send back to the order confirmation. So let's have a look. So that's the flow that we can do to meet the the requirements of this. So what process data flow will occur when user interacts with that one? So what it will occur is that when after they selected the items details will be stored inside the order details, but it will also update the item count database, and then we will send the user the payment details. So the answer here, yeah. So while the buy item with initial selection process, it puts the items to sort of shopping cart, and they can initiate the checkout. As a user shopping, if another user finalizes the order, either the item tiles or the shopping cart on others should request updated item data. Yeah, so we can cover that one as well. So you're talking about what's supposed to happen on the screen. So just imagine what you do on it. So this just imagine that this is a real life website, and you should be able to work on it. But it requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of work on it. So sit down, give it a try, and see what you can come up. But yeah, bear in mind you only can have 7 processes. So yeah, it's a bit messy, but we do it in 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Thank you.